many times. I live here in Gainesville with my husband, Drew. And so when Carrie asked me to come talk about this program we started, it's called the Ozark County Homegrown Food Project, I was excited. She said several people had heard about it already, which is great because we're just really newly formed. We have a lot of momentum going, but I look back at the calendar, and our first meeting was just 3 weeks ago. So everything's kind of in its beginning stages, but I want to tell you kind of what we're about, what we want to do, and why I think it's going to be good for Ozark County. So how we first started, there's about 8 to 10 of us, I think, that all kind of cared about local food individually. We were trying to source as much as we could locally, grow our own food, and we saw a need for our community to maybe support that, for us to put the support system in so other people could do that and understand why it's important. And it's been amazing, the outpouring of support we've had. I thought 3 weeks in I'd be coming and talking to people, trying to introduce the program, tell them what we're all about, but I found that most of my time right now is talking to people who already have heard about us, who have wrote me emails about it, who say, this is amazing, count me in, tell me what I can do. So it's great. And we're still looking for more people to come join, so anyone you know, just tell them about it. So we met at Antler, there's 8 to 10 of us. We kind of talked about why each one of us, how local food fit in with our own lives, and why we want to share that with our community. And there were people, all different walks of life, different ages. There was me, Dennis Lawson was there, Cynthia McPherson, the new associate judge, has been really involved. Amelia Lemaire, she works over in Howell County at the Extension Office. She does 4-H over there, but she lives right near Hudson Mill, so she was involved. Susan Plaster had written a grant for the Senior Center for a vertical garden, and is interested in doing things like that, so she came. So anyway, it was just a group of people I knew. We sat down and talked about it. So in our first meeting, we wanted to first define a mission. So what do we want to do? All these different initiatives, what's at the base of it? And so our mission is now, we want to make local, wholesome food accessible to everyone in Ozark County. It's kind of broad, but basically we want to help people grow their own food, raise their own food when they can, and when they can't, we want to have that support system in where they can know where they can source, their bread, their honey, their meat, their produce, anything they're not able to do on their own. Let them know that there are neighbors out there in Ozark County that are doing that, and that we can help support these families by buying from them. So I just want to kind of go through, we have a lot of stuff going on in the last 3 weeks. We have a lot of ideas. Like I said, so many people are interested. They've come to me with all these great ideas, and so I'm trying to kind of harness the excitement and, put everything on the ground and start with our bare minimum initiatives, and then we'll build from there. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think local food is important, and there's a lot of reasons why it is, but these few ones are the ones I personally find most important and relevant for Ozark County. So first, I think we know that local food tastes better and is better for you. It's kind of a given. If you go out and take a tomato out of your garden and you compare it with one you buy at the store, there's just not really a comparison in taste. And part of the reason for that is that on average your produce comes on a truck from about 1,500 miles away. So in order to do that, those people who have grown food before, you know that tomatoes, if they're all in a box together, come 1,500 miles, you're probably not going to have a tomato that's edible by the time it gets here. So, they have to pick them when they're more green, not ripe, and there's reasons behind that, but if we're able to buy a tomato, grow our own tomato, or buy a tomato from someone here local, that producer can pick it at the peak of its ripeness. You can buy it within the same day, maybe a few days, and it's going to taste better for you. There's not any nutrients that are lost in the transit. Sometimes a lot of our vegetables lose a lot of nutrients that 1,500 miles. So, and then also local food is going to, consist of homemade breads and vegetables and meats and cheeses and honey and things that are kind of whole foods as general, and we're going to kind of skip out on a lot of that processed food that's really easy for us to, incorporate into our diets. So instead of hamburger helper, maybe you're having, a salad or, chicken and vegetables. So I think it's going to be just healthier all around. And so the second reason that I think it's really important for Ozark County is that this project is going to create a sense of community. I think we have a pretty good sense of community here with the people we know, but as I've been going to different meetings about local food here in Ozark County, I found that there is a whole population of people that I've never seen before, that I've never talked to, that care a lot about local food. And when we start getting those people and bringing them in and connecting with them on a personal level, I think it's just going to strengthen our sense of community. So I like to say food is a common denominator for all people, no matter what you look like, what religion you are, what political stance, how old you are. We're all going to sit down at the end of the day and we're going to eat a meal. So, it kind of brings together the commonality of people instead of bringing out the differences. So I think we're going to find that there's a lot of people who are going to want to be involved with this that maybe are not as connected to our community right now. So, which brings me to my next point. I think this is going to be great for the economic health of Ozark County, and there's a few different reasons why. First, if you're raising your own food, if you're planting a garden or raising your own chickens, raising your own eggs, it saves you money. You're putting your own labor into it, and it's gonna save money. When you pick garden produce, generally you put a lot less money into that than if you go and buy all that stuff the whole summer long at the grocery store. So I think it's gonna keep money in families' pockets. And then if you're handing your food dollars over to a local farmer, it's going to be an impact that family's going to feel immediately. Some of you probably read the newspaper article that I wrote, and I source all my chicken that we eat from a family in Wasola. They butcher 3 times a year, and I put my order in, I go get it, we bring back the whole chickens, we cut them up into pieces, we put them in our freezer, and it's great. It's great to have that there. And I know when I take that money and I give it straight to them, that they're going to be able to keep doing what they're doing. And they're passionate about it. And I really like how they're doing it. So I think taking a face and putting it to the farmer, I haven't ever been that excited about just buying a frozen bag of chicken. And nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you, there's just a real sense of pride that you get from knowing your farmer, shaking their hand, going out to their home, becoming friends with them. I know we are raising laying hens right now, and we bought 6 pullets to start with, so female chicks, and when we raised them, 4 of the 6 turned out to be roosters. And those who know about chickens know that you can't have 4 roosters and 2 hens. So we got the lovely job of butchering 3 of our roosters. And so the first thing I did was called up Rachel Klessig and said, okay, you've done this before, so come walk me through this. Because one, these are laying hens that we've named, and we need a little emotional support to be able to do this. And 2, how the heck do you do it? I mean, you go out with an axe, or what, I don't know. So,
I'd set up like a Hunger Games deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really good connecting with those people, and they become your friends. They want to help you out. They're really happy about what they're doing, so they want to talk to you about what they're doing. So that's an obvious sign. But I think we'll see some secondary trends of economic strengthening. I think when you bring people together, the people that I'm talking about who aren't necessarily connected right now, and you're out there working on a community garden next to Chris Harlan. You become friends with them, and then, maybe they start to think about other local businesses too. Maybe they move their banking needs from Mountain Home or Bank of America or wherever they are and bring them locally. The same thing, what Jenner Douglas, if she's out there and she starts buying chicken from the classics, maybe they realize that, there's a customer service and personal touch that a local business can get that, that the big corporations can't. So I think we're going to see a lot of that, of these secondary trends where slowly but surely, these people are becoming connected and realizing that Ozark County has a lot of services to offer. So, and then we're going to talk in a minute about some of our initiatives, and one of them is going to be our long-term initiative is to kind of create a central hub here in Gainesville where the farmers, we found that there's farmers doing lots of great things, selling all kinds of things all over the county. The problem is our county is really big. So, if you wanted to go buy blueberries here and honey there and bread here and chicken there for your weekly grocery list, it may take you 8 or 9 hours because it's just so spread apart. So eventually we're going to try to form some kind of hub here in Gainesville where people come to Gainesville to buy all these different things. Whether that's strengthening the farmers market or creating a food co-op, we don't know yet. But those people are going to be in Gainesville, which means, they're going to be buying their gas here or picking up paper towels or just all of those little things that will add a little boost to our economy. So, and then one thing that I'm really passionate about is ensuring growth for the future. I'll give you a little example. I have a 5-year-old little brother named Paul, and he's in preschool this year. And every week they have a letter. So on the P day, my mom brought in peaches for everyone. And she was so surprised because there were 4 children who had never seen a peach, didn't know what a peach was. And then there were several children who only had canned peaches, and they didn't know about fresh peaches. And so I think sometimes that is not being taught at home. People are unable to afford fresh fruit, or it's not a part of their diet, and these kids are growing up and they don't know about fruits and vegetables. So to me, and we've also heard, I don't think it's to this extent in Ozark County, but we've also heard of college-educated people who have been asked to help with a project for agriculture, and they ask them to go out and get some carrots, and they're looking up in the trees, or they don't know exactly where a carrot is from, and so and I found it with my generation. I'm 26 years old. With my generation and the ones before me, I think we just have a real disconnect with where our food comes from. So I want to kind of bring that back here in Ozark County. It's something that's always been a part of Ozark County, and I really don't want to see it fade away. Also with canning and making homemade bread and all those other great things we're known for, we want to keep that with the younger generations. So let me breeze through some of our initiatives. We have, like I said, we have a lot of big ideas, but these are the ones we're kind of putting to the ground right now. We want to connect local restaurants with local growers. This is something that's kind of come up since our first meeting, so we've just been talking through email about it. But Dennis has talked to local restaurants here in Ozark County, and they know that homegrown vegetables are better. They want to support the local growers, and so they want to buy some of our produce from local growers. So we've talked to 2 restaurants so far. We kind of want to organize that effort a little better to make sure we have enough growers to provide all this stuff before we branch out. But wouldn't it be great, to have a tomato or fresh lettuce or any of that stuff from a local grower? I think customers are going to like it, and I think the restaurants are going to be more successful, and like I said, it just goes back into the economy here in Ozark County. So we're also hoping we can make up like some signs or little window decals that we can put at each restaurant. So it'll say Ozark County Homegrown Food Project, we serve local, and a blank, and they can fill in whatever they have. So that's one.